Hello, this is the BBC News with Fiona MacDonald. Ukraine has dismissed a claim by the leader of Russia's Wagner mercenaries that his troops have taken full control of the city of Bakhmut. Ukraine's Deputy Defence Minister said the situation in Bakhmut was critical, but heavy fighting was still going on. The Wagner boss, Yevgeny Prigozhin, made the claim in an online video. Sasha Schlichter reports.
With typical swagger, Prigozhin proclaims, after 224 days of Operation Bakhmut Meat Grinder, we are finally in full control of the city, and with no help from regular Russian forces. The top brass, he said, had turned the war into their own playground. The battle for Bakhmut has been the longest and bloodiest of the war. Even if what Prigozhin says is true, the victory will have been at a very high human cost.
Pope Francis has asked the head of the Italian Bishops' Conference to embark on a peace mission to try to help bring an end to the war in Ukraine. It comes a week after President Zelensky had an audience with the Pope in the Vatican. James Reid reports.
Pope Francis has previously alluded to plans for a peace mission, but this is the first time the Vatican has given details. The cardinal appointed to lead it, Matteo Zuppi, helped bring an end to Mozambique's civil war 20 years ago. He's expected to seek separate meetings with Volodymyr Zelensky and Vladimir Putin. The Vatican said the aim was to reduce tensions in the hope that this could start a peace process. But the prospects of success are slender. Ukraine is determined to recover all occupied territory, and Russia insists it must keep its conquests.
The International Criminal Court says it's undeterred by Russia putting the court's chief prosecutor on a wanted list in response to him issuing an arrest warrant for President Putin. The ICC said it found Moscow's actions unacceptable. In March, prosecutor Karim Khan named Mr. Putin a wanted man, suspected of sanctioning the war crime of children deportations from Ukraine. The celebrated British author Martin Amis has died. He was 73. His works, including Money and London Fields, defined a new era of British writing in the 1980s and 90s, recognised for their dark comedy and commentary on the excesses of capitalism. Later books investigated Stalin's purges and the legacy of the Holocaust. Martin Amis spoke to the BBC in the 90s about why he wrote.
It would be intolerable to me to just be a passive liver of my life. It's only when you write that you can pose form and pattern and humour, comedy. Otherwise, the stuff itself would strike me as unendurably thin. It's a fairly constant daily urge. I really want to get in there and will snarl with loathing sometimes when the telephone rings, and really you're very intensely concentrated.
World News from the BBC. The Irish Nationalist Party Sinn Féin has become the largest party in local government in Northern Ireland for the first time, after making substantial gains in council elections. Counting is still going on. A former Chilean left-wing rebel who served 17 years in a Brazilian jail is suing the government there for human rights violations. Mauricio Hernández Norambuena says he was kept in solitary confinement for most of his sentence. He was convicted of kidnapping a high-profile advertising executive in São Paulo 2 decades ago. Manchester City have won the English Premier League for the third time in a row. They've secured the title thanks to Arsenal's 1-0 defeat at Nottingham Forest. Man City will have the opportunity to celebrate their 9th English League title on Monday when they play Chelsea at home. John Murray reports.
While it was Arsenal who set the pace at the top of the Premier League almost all season long, the defending champions Manchester City timed their run to retain their title with still 3 matches to play. City are currently on a run of 14 league matches unbeaten, in which time they've dropped only 2 points and won away and at home against Arsenal. Those results swung the title race decisively the way of Pep Guardiola's team, who've now won the Premier League 3 years running, and for a 5th time in 6 seasons. No club has enjoyed that kind of domination since Sir Alex Ferguson's Manchester United. And for City, it completes the first part of the possible treble, with the FA Cup and Champions League finals for them still to play next month.
A protester has been arrested after using a hammer and chisel to chip away at a controversial statue adorning the BBC's central London headquarters. Police had been engaged in a standoff lasting more than 12 hours with the man. The 1931 statue was sculpted by Eric Gill, who was later revealed to have sexually abused his daughters. BBC News.